What does it really take to be somebody who gets all of your expenses paid for on your pageant journey? Like, I want you to imagine that you get a DM or you get a call from a director, from a partner, from a sponsor saying, yep, paid in full. You want to go compete? You want to travel across the world? You want to go to this big prestigious competition? Yep, we've got you. No problem. It's covered. You don't have to pay a dime. You just have to you have to just get there. Not even get yourself there, because that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about women who are able to get everything covered to go to their competition. I want you to say like a heck yes out loud if that is you, because that is exactly what just happened to my client. And if you want to be somebody who attracts this type of opportunity where you're like, oh my gosh, Maria, somebody just messaged me like they're covering all of my pageant expenses. Every single thing. I just have to pretty much show up at competition and compete and do my thing. Then this is the episode for you, my gals. And PS, we're in the middle of our podcast challenge, the Queen's Takeover podcast challenge. So make sure you share this episode. Wait till the end of the episode. Let yourself get the downloads. Let yourself get the takeaways. Share your biggest takeaway to Instagram, tag me at the Pageant Gal, and leave a 5-star review on Spotify. Let's talk about this one because this is insane. This is insane. And I will say, it's so insane that this isn't even the first time I've had clients had this happen, where they message me saying that everything is covered or that they've gotten more than enough from what they need in order to compete. This is a very common occurrence. This is a very regular thing for my clients. Okay. I want to start by saying that, like, this is not a once in a lifetime thing. This is not once in a blue moon. This is not just like super rare. This is a very regular occurrence. And the reason why I'm going to say that over and over is because I want to normalize it in your brain. This is normal. People have people paying for everything that they're doing, not in a way where like you don't work and you can't cover things yourself, but women are establishing themselves in a way that other people want to be a part of their journey and want to see them rise to the top so much that they're willing to put money on them, to bet on them. It's a very normal thing in my world. It's very normal for you, and I want to normalize that. It can happen. Now, let me share the story. Last month, my client messages me. This client has been working with me for almost a year now. She started in my virtual pageant, then she was in my membership, and then of course she upgraded to the Queen Collective. She's competed in two other pageants. She was first runner-up at both. She was first runner-up at a national pageant. They sent her internationally. She was first runner-up at this international pageant, like a very well-known international pageant. And she's like, okay, I'm going to take 6 months. We're training for next year. We're training for next year. I said, awesome, let's do this. She signs up for another 6 months of coaching in the Queen Collective. She sends me a DM on Instagram. Maria, she says, Maria, I just got a message from someone who was at the international pageant that I was at. So the one that she placed first runner up at. And she says, they have another international opportunity that she's connected with. I don't know if it was someone that, I think it was someone who was competing with her, but they had a connection for another pageant, and they were looking for a Canadian representative and they didn't have one. And this pageant hadn't been run in a bit, like it was a known system, but it hadn't been run. They were bringing it back and they were really wanting to make it like bigger and better than ever. And they said, we don't have someone from your country. They're willing to pay for the entry fee and the flight. Can you get there? They want you to go tomorrow. And she's like, holy crap, what do I do? What do I do? And so she's telling me, she's like, Maria, like, what a cool experience. Like, and PS, we're in Canada. This opportunity was in China. So not only does she have 24 hours to decide if she wants to compete internationally, she also has to decide if she wants to drop everything and go to the other side of the world. And so I said to her, well, first of all, I'm like, can you swing it? You know, she is someone who I believe she works for herself in some way. So hello, if you're not building your empire, what are you actually doing? Um, so I was like, well, can you swing it like with life, with work, with those types of things? And she was like, yeah, I could. It's only, 2.5 weeks or so. Like I could do that. And I said to her, I was like, well, logistically, can you make this happen? Because I know, like, I just went to Asia for my honeymoon and we had to get a visa to go to Vietnam. And when you go to certain Asian countries, you have to get a visa. So she's like, oh, I don't know, let me look into it. And she's looking into it and she's like, well, as she's looking into it, she says, I'm looking at this as like a boot camp. Like every single opportunity like this is a boot camp for me to train to get to where I want to go. So if I can swing it and I get to use this as experience for the future, why wouldn't I go? And I'm like, yeah, like that's how I think of it too. If you're going to be safe, if this is all legit and logistically you can make it work, why not? And it's paid for. Hello, bonus. So she looks it up. She needs to get a visa. Visas take 3 to 5 business days. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do it. Like, we were about to go into the weekend. She's like, it might just, I might just have to let this opportunity go because if you're there for a certain amount of time, you do need a visa. And, she doesn't have a visa, right? How many people have a visa just to go internationally? And they say to her, okay, we'll give you a couple days. Like, go get the visa, then we'll book the flight. She's like, Maria, they said for me to go get the visa and then book the flight. I was like, girl, go get the visa and then book the flight. Like, figure it out. Not even 5 days later, she's off on a plane to China. She goes and competes. We're going to get to the goodness of this episode, to the meat and potatoes of it, I promise, where it's like, okay, how the heck did this happen? This client goes. I say, go have fun, go enjoy yourself. You're young, go live. P.S. I say, you're young, go live, no matter how old you are, because you only have one life, so why waste it? So she's competing in China. She tells me, she's like, Maria, I'm not stressed. Like, I am using this as experience. I'm being myself. I'm going to get better at everything I'm doing. I'm going to get good photos. I'm going to build up my community network on my social media. Like, I'm here for growth and I'm here for building up my brand, my community. She's like, it's okay if I don't win. It's okay if I don't place. Like, this is my boot camp for the future. It's all training to help me build as a better competitor. This girl goes on and wins the international pageant title. She wins the international title. She had 24 hours notice. And I will say this was a unique system because they were bringing it back and they're like, we're making it bigger and better than ever. They actually did 2 international title holders. So she was one of 2 that won. And P.S., it doesn't matter where you're from in the world listening to this, but I want you to know how heavily the narrative is in Canada that Canadian women don't win international pageants. We barely even place at some international pageants, never mind win. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how much that is communicated in the stories in our country, at least. And I'm sure y'all got some stories where you're from. So for this woman to have 24 hours notice, to go compete, and then to win one of the 2 international titles, we're making a podcast episode about this. We're blasting it to all the girlies out there and all the gals because how did this happen? I'm going to tell you and really break it down with who this is. And P.S., my client is like more than excited about this. She's like, Maria, I can delay the goal of going to the competitions that I want to a year or two. No big deal. She's in her early 20s. I'm like, girl, you're just getting started. Like, go build up your connections, go live and enjoy as an international title holder. Then we can game plan for after that. So she's stoked. We're stoked. We're all like geeking out about this, but let's talk about it because this didn't just happen to her. And if you think she knew a couple of months ago that this was all going to come into her lap and happen, like, she had no idea. She had no idea earlier this year that this was going to be where she was. She had no idea a month ago that she was going to get this opportunity. We were planning for next year. We were planning for national competitions. Like, in no way did she know this. But let's talk about what this client actually had been doing to make her a woman in the world that is attracting, not just attracting these opportunities, like she's manifesting, because energy schmenergy, like, yes, that's important, but these women are not just being handed opportunities for nothing. And here's what you got to know if you want to be somebody who is a high value woman attracting high value experiences. First and foremost, and this is a big one, she is invested in her vision. And the reason why I'm starting with this is because a lot of women don't even have a vision. Y'all don't even have goals, even if you're in pageantry or business. If you want to be someone who is going to the top, you have to have a vision for what that actually looks like. And you have to have goals and a path set forward so that you can take the action to get there. A lot of people don't have that. That's step one. You got to have a vision of where you want to go, of where you want to be. Otherwise, when opportunities come up to get you there, it's going to scare the crap out of you and you're not going to take them. And it's not going to be exciting because you didn't have the vision. You were anchored to your North Star. So this client, like I said, she's been working with me for almost a year now. And even before she got set up to go to this competition, she'd already signed up for 6 months of coaching. Most pageant women sign up for one session. Most of them say, give me a 30-minute on the calendar. Let's do runway. No, she's like 6 months. I'm going all in. I want to be in the group space that's elevating me and taking me to the top. That type of person shows up in a big way for her goals. That person is saying, I know I'm meant to be a national, international leader, and I want to be around other women who are building brands, who are building movements, who are building legacies that other people are noticing and attracting more opportunities to. I want to be around that type of space. So not only was she investing in creating her vision, creating the path, and working together, but she was also in particular in a group space with other women who are also crazy, who are also iconic. The Queen Collective is like the space for women going to the top. We've had women, in this case scenario, we're talking about getting, paid pageant experiences, but we've had clients get host fundraisers and raise $3,000 for their pageant expenses, get $5,000 in cash and value in sponsorships. Like these women are doing the unimaginable to most people because most people aren't actually setting a vision. They don't have the belief, they don't have the action, they don't have the support. So it's no wonder why their results stay at average and basic. But she was in a group space normalizing big moves and big results. And that's why women in the Queen Collective have a really great success rate. So that's the first thing that she did, right? Because here's the thing now, when the opportunity came, it wasn't a no, it wasn't a this doesn't make sense, or this is scary, or this is wrong, or this is bad, or I have to do work instead. It was, hey, this can help me get to where I want to go. How many people would get 24? I will say, I just had someone recently tell me she was upset. She got this international opportunity and she was like, oh my gosh, they only gave me a month's notice. When I tell you, if you could see my face, that's exactly how she said it. Isn't that ridiculous? They only gave me a month or two notice. Meanwhile, my clients get like a day's notice and they're like, awesome, book the flight. I got my stuff, let's go. How does that person show up, right? That's how when you what's the phrase? When you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. That's the pageant gal motto. So if you don't know where you're going, any path will get you there or no path will get you there because you have no idea where you're going. Have a vision, be invested in the support to get there and the path. So that way, when opportunities come up, it doesn't seem so crazy. You're like, yeah, it's crazy, but I'm doing it because I know it's going to be a stepping stone to get where I want to go. It's crazy, but it's also iconic. So, another thing about this client in how she shows up and how she was able to get this opportunity, get this win, is that a huge part of this journey was about her really growing her mindset and her overall preparedness when it came to the pageant industry. And it's funny because after she won this title, she's freaking out. She's like, Maria, I literally can't believe this. Like, what is happening? And we were laughing because a few months ago, she would come on the Queen Collective calls and she would be like, I don't know where to shop for outfits. Or like, what are we doing day one of the competition? Like, that's where she was a couple months ago. Like, she didn't know what she didn't know. And she was like, I don't even know what to ask because I don't even know where to begin. And now she's winning international pageants. So, a huge factor of this was her growing her mindset and her ability to be prepared when it came to competitions. So, she had to graduate from that beginner of, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to shop, I don't know what to expect, into, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to ask the right questions to make sure I'm prepared. And I'm going to make sure I have the right things, right circumstances, right people in my corner. So that way, when these opportunities come up, I'm not freaking out and panicking like a chicken with my head cut off. I have my wits about me and I can navigate the circumstance and the situation. And this is a huge thing. Gals, I get it. Pageants and pageant prep, it can be stressful. It can be really stressful and it can throw a lot of women off. That's why not everybody can be a title holder. Not everybody can go to the top because not everybody can handle the stress and can be fully prepared to handle and navigate the overall workload and stress that comes with it. So another thing about this client is that not only was she growing her mindset, but she was also growing her brand in the way that the world was perceiving her. And the main way that she was doing it was through her social media and the way that she was being seen. Again, there was a huge mindset thing for her where if you look back earlier this year, this girl wasn't present on social media. She had nothing. She had a couple of posts from like a year ago, and that was it. And we had to shift her mindset to say, you're showing up as a leader that other people want to follow. That's going to be a woman with a crown that other people want to look up to. Is your mindset, I don't know what to post and I don't know why people would care? Or is it, I'm building a brand as a leader and title holder that is going to change the world, change lives, who's going to use my crown for good and leave a legacy of impact and influence on every single person I meet. It started internally, right? She had to become the woman with the mindset of I'm a leader and a queen already. And then she had to show up in that way when it came to her preparedness and when it came to the brand that she was building in her community. I will also say a huge factor of this was the fact that we helped her build a platform, which also had to do around mindset, because her platform has a lot to do with mindfulness and yoga and meditation. But she wasn't always embodying that. And she had to learn how to embody that for herself to go from, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to plan. I don't know what to prepare. I don't know, to I'm going to figure it out, to I'm going to move anyways, to I'm going to handle this situation with grace. And I will say that's why people are so attracted to her. It's because of her aura, it's because of her composure that is not just beautiful, but it's attractive in like a more magnetic way. And that stands out when you also show up with preparedness. So this other part is that not only was she growing her mindset and her preparedness, but it was overall elevating her attraction in the pageant world, online and in her competition. Hopefully that's making sense. I'm not just saying attraction looks wise, I'm saying it like magnetism wise, that other people are attracted to watching her, even though she's not a perfect competitor. Nobody is. We all have things that we can improve on, but she was doing the work internally to prepare herself to ask, learn what questions to ask, and to graduate from kind of beginner, I don't know what to do in pageantry, to I've now done this two other times. I can figure it out. I know that there's going to be things I don't know. And again, showing up consistently and presenting an image and a presence and perception that she's already the queen and she's someone who's going to win. The last thing that I'll say that's really important, if you're someone who wants to have all expenses paid for, all of it, whether it's through sponsors, whether it's through fundraisers, whether it's through donors, whether it's through the pageant themselves, because I will say, I feel like it's a little less common with systems in like Canada and the US that they just have extra funds to bring women and competitors from around the world, but it's not uncommon in places like Asia, South America. Like there are places that do have extra funds or sponsors or donors that would bring in women from other countries. And it's also very attractive to these other places to have women and delegates from different systems, right? It looks good to the sponsors. It shows that it's international. So this isn't uncommon. But the last thing that I will say is that she's a woman who is building her network and her connections. You can't possibly expect to just have these opportunities fall in your lap with no community, with no network of supporters. Okay, so let's talk about what that looks like. At the first competition she went to this year, she was polite. She was likely on time. She was likely organized. She likely got on the good side of the pageant director from the minute she signed up for that competition, the first national competition. Directors are not giving big opportunities like this to women who don't look like they got their shit together, to women who are a hot mess, to women who are rude and closed off. You're not getting those opportunities. Show up, be kind, be on time, be put together. That's the first thing that she had to do to make that connection with that national director. So much so that even when she didn't win that national pageant, they said, we still want to send you somewhere. We've got a couple other options. At that national competition, or at the international competition, the one that she was top two in, we said to her, again, like, we're using these as boot camps to improve for the next competition because she only had like 3 weeks to prepare. And I said to her, I was like, go and have a great time. Be kind, be friendly. Use this to build connections. Use this to like grow your skills for the future. So she was showing up ready to make connections, ready to be kind. When so many want to be closed off, want to be on their phone, want to keep their headphones in and not talk to anybody, which I get. I totally get. Like you want to be in the zone. But had this client been like that, she might never had made that connection with that one girl who then got her this international opportunity a month later. Think about it. This woman messaged her a month later after this first international competition and said, hey, I'd love for, like, you should go to this other pageant that I know of. That's because this client was open to building up her network and her connections. Things are not handed to people who are just trying to do it alone, who are just trying to do it solo. The whole idea of like it's lonely at the top does not exist in the pageant world. You actually get to the top faster when you're building your network, when you're building up your communities. But everyone's trying to do it solo and doing it alone. So again, don't just think when I'm at the pageant, am I building connections? How are you building connections, relationships, and a network of supporters leading up? I'll say again, a great one is through social media, but social media isn't the be all end all. Yes, it's a great resource when you know how to use it to show up consistently and share your preparation, but also how are you putting yourself in spaces to make connections, to make a network of people? That's why I love groups in pageantry because I don't think there's enough collaboration in the pageant world that women are using to actually advance themselves. So that's why I've literally built the best space for it. So she built up her connection and her network. And I always want you to think like, how are you showing up in different spaces? How are you showing up in in other places that you're going to? And our opportunity, like the thing is, you have to realize opportunities are all around you, all around you. And again, it starts with you got to have the vision. If you don't have a vision, who cares about the opportunities? You have no idea where you want to go. And then growing your mindset and growing your preparation. And then this piece here, I will say, like last month, I went to this in-person event in Detroit. And there was a ton of other female business owners. There were like 30 or 40 of us there. I'm the only one in the pageant space, as I always am. And I was helping a woman with a photo shoot, like a content shoot. And she needed help. So I was like, girl, can I please help you? Someone at a table, I don't know if I've shared this story on the podcast before, but if I did, it's obviously, I'm sharing it again because it's important. A girl from like a few tables over came up to me and she was like, I would love to hire you for what you just did for her because like the confidence she felt in her movements and like how you brought the pageant queen side, that queen identity to her, like I want to learn that. And her and I just had a call recently to help her with that when it comes to her business, like her confidence and her yeah, her queen energy, like showing up as a queen, learning how to walk and learning how to pose and all of those things. I had no idea that connection was there. I had no idea that network was there, but that wouldn't have been there had I not shown up. Had I not seen someone taking photos and needing help and saying, hey, like, how can I help you? Like, can I help you with this? So, how can you be somebody who's making connections with other people and knowing that opportunities are all around you in the biggest, beautifulest ways? And sometimes it's just being around other people who play in this realm of the universe. Like the world is literally your playground and anything can happen. You can go from never doing a pageant 3 months ago to winning an international pageant and winning, oh my gosh, I don't even know. The prize package is insane. This girl's going to be like flying to China back and forth. She gets a big cash prize. She gets a ton of resources and to network with really incredible like business owners. It's insane. And that wasn't existing a few months ago. But when you play in this world of I'm a woman with a vision, I'm growing myself, my brand, and my preparedness, and I'm building up a network and community of connections around me that are going to support me as we all go to the top together, it becomes inevitable. And that's really what it means to be a pageant gal. That's really what it means to be in this world and in this space. And if you don't want to take this opportunity up, I don't know, maybe you think it's not possible for you or that you can't or that it's only for certain people, that's always going to be your reality. And it's so funny how like my clients are shocked when these big things happen, but I'm never shocked. I'm like, I knew it was there. You just had to set the vision, get in the space, elevate the way that you're showing up, and then it responds to you. Almost every single time I've had this happen to so many clients, not obviously in the exact same way because everybody's opportunities come in different ways, but I'm never surprised. I'm not surprised. And now I'm telling you this, my gal, so that you can go and take this and be this gal who has this insane opportunity. That's why, like, I always love year after year. I'm just like, we're just going to keep growing. We're just going to keep expanding because there's literally no limits on who we can be and what we can do. And if you are coasting and you're kind of like just chilling with the same simple goals and platform and results year after year, you need to work with me because I promise your next year is going to be completely different. And that's why my business is different than every other pageant coach. My prices are different than every other pageant coach because the results my clients get, and I will say the majority of my clients get, it's not just like one client doing this. It's different. It's iconic. It's crazy in the best way. This is your sign. With that being said, gals, along with our podcast challenge this month, we also have Pink Friday coming up. Pink Friday is the Pageant Gal Black Friday. This is happening live on November 24th. We have a call breaking down, helping you actually ignite your vision and goals for the next year so that even if that was all you did on that call, you know where you're going and you can be more attuned to the opportunities around you to help you get there. But then we're also sharing some really incredible offers to work with me so that you can build your pageant preparation plan to your win, or you can start monetizing on your pageant journey. There's going to be offers for both, and that's going to be live on November 24th. But It's open for registration right now. And we're also doing a whole Telegram broadcast where you're coming with me behind the scenes to the events that I'm going to this month to help me grow my own brand, grow my own business and my identity. So I'm only sharing with you what you want with all of you, what I'm doing. So I hope to see you all there. The link, all the details will be in the description below when it comes to the podcast challenge for the Queen's Takeover podcast challenge and what you can win, and Pink Friday to sign up because it's completely free to participate in both. How amazing is that for all of you? So go and do that right now. Go sign up for Pink Friday. Go share this episode with your biggest takeaways to your Instagram story. Tag me at the Pageant Gal, and I will see you all in the next episode.